Representative Matt Gaetz can't seem to stop telling on himself. The alleged sex trafficking Florida Republican recently responded to the leaked draft on Roe v. Wade being overturned by attacking what he calls overeducated women. I don't know what that is, but here is the tweet. How many of the women rallying against overturning Roe are overeducated, underloved millennials who sadly returned from protests to a lonely microwave dinner with their cats and no Bumble matches? Actually, that sounds kind of cool. Especially, because who wants to, not do that if you're dealing with somebody with Matt Gaetz? The thing. But oh yeah, educated women with their cats and their microwave dinner. Got them. Really? Does that now? Again, if you look at the logic here, there's no logic. But let's try to follow it anyway. Okay. So wait, so the women who can't get dates or have sex are the ones that are defending the right to get an abortion, even though they can't get dates or have sex, which means they can't get pregnant. And so why would then they be fighting for access to abortion if they didn't actually need abortion? I don't quite understand what point is he trying to make? That doesn't make any sense. Matt Gaetz, idiot, moron, dumbass. He should have kept that one in the drafts. Not only makes no sense, but also a bit of a self-own. Okay? Because, again, he wants to talk about overeducated women, right? Well, it's because women that he considers to be overeducated won't date him. I mean, the only reason women won't fuck me is because they had too much education. No, really? That explains why Matt Gaetz loves 17-year-olds. Got to make sure they're not overeducated, past high school. And by the way, knowing how public schools in Florida, thanks to Republicans, right? They're actually making sure that young people do not get a quality education because, well, they love the poorly educated. Again, if the public is not well educated, then that makes them easier to control, easier to dupe, and more likely to become a Republican voter. Now, look, this goes hand in hand with the assault on public education, which they have been engaging in for quite some time, but has really ramped up lately. Okay? Look, they've been using the boogeyman on critical race theory, right? It's critical race theory. They're teaching kids racism in schools. We don't like it. We don't like that. Not that the fact that racism exists. No, we love the fact that racism exists, but we just don't like it that you're teaching about it and teaching kids not to be racist. But you also have social emotional learning, which people on the right have said softens children. It makes them too soft. They actually start caring about the people around them. Ugh, we don't want that. No, we don't want that. And so, but what they've done is they've scared conservative parents. And of course, this also goes hand in hand with the rumor smear, right? For LGBTQ educators and people who defend LGBTQ students. That has scared conservative parents who watch Fox News into pulling your kids out of public schools. All right, well, good for them, right? But no, it just hasn't ended there. No, now they're trying to literally end public schools, getting them, the voters, to vote for politicians that are promising to completely dismantle openly public education. In fact, I've shown you some videos here of Republicans openly admitting it, that yes, they want to get rid of public education. In fact, here's that.
So maybe a great time in our country's history where we rethink whether or not we have public schools. Maybe we should not have the government involved in education at all.
There is a war that is being waged in which they want your children. they want your kids. They want your kids. They want your kids. You have to wage war against that. And if it means that your kids have no schooling whatsoever, they will be better off. I can't even begin to tell you the damage that happens to children in school. And if you don't believe me, it's because you've been schooled, not educated.
They want your kids. They want your kids. They want your kids. Are you talking about Matt Gaetz? No, seriously though. Look, they want to get rid of public schools, and they want to get rid of abortion. They're going to come for contraception. They're going to come for same-sex marriage. They're going to come, obviously, they've been coming for welfare programs for some time. What's next? What's next? Outlawing divorce? Unless, of course, the man wants it. We're going to turn into the Western Saudi Arabia. I mean, again, they want women barefoot, pregnant, and ignorant. Why? Because it's easier to control them. That's it. It's all about control. Look, and by the way, Trump was unintentionally correct when he admitted that Republicans, that he specifically loves the poorly educated. They do. And they're going to make sure that every poor person, every woman, every person of color stays ignorant and in poverty with no way up the ladder. Unless you're wealthy, unless you're an elite, because wealthy people, they can get educated. The ones who are already rich, they can get educated. They can fly out somewhere else to get an abortion. They can do all of these things. But for poor people, they want to make them into the new serfs. They are taking the United States into the 1500s. It's going to be modern day serfdom. And so that's what happens when Republicans take power and exercise power. And even when they're in the minority, they still exercise power somehow. We got to stop them. Okay. Interracial marriage too. I mentioned that. Segregation, definitely possible. But that's, of course, well, okay, I was talking about thinking school segregation, but yeah, there is also other forms of segregation. Yikes. Uneducated people continue to vote against their best interests. One, because conservative media wins the messaging war. And two, Democrats are feckless and won't actually pass things to help regular people and also suck at messaging.